Today I'ma wake up a new man.
So Saturday morning I've got a bad back and I've got to fit this piece to this car. So let's crack on and see how it goes, shall we?
I'ma write down every single thought.
What did you say, mate? You don't want the spoiler on? Oh.
You wanted, I got it. So tell me what you need. I'm unchained, unfazed, and unwilling. It's a new day, new world, we all winning. I'm up late, up early, I gotta get it.
I feel very close to the lens.
No. Back.
Mate.
Park.
Oh.
And now both 2 steps back. Now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the lens here.
I really do. I know it's on wide.
I'm ready for my close up this morning.
Both of you tiny bit that way.
Have you got your concealer on?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very, very much for tuning in again. And we're here today with what?
It was a thank you, wasn't it? It was like, hang here.
Hang
hang here.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you once again for tuning in. And today we are here with a Porsche Taycan.
Yeah, so we're here today with a huge thanks from Dino from Hube for lending his car. We're going to do a real life review of the Porsche Taycan. It's still a new car that was released last year in 2020, but we want to hear Dino's real life story with this car rather than facts and figures. So we're going to get down to the nitty gritty and see what this new Porsche is all about.
Well, I'm the owner of a sportswear triathlon company based in Derby, and I'm very lucky that really due to tax efficiencies, I happen to own a Porsche Taycan. I wanted to put some bits on it. You know, we all want it to make it look like it's the fastest one. A turbo on an electric car, yeah, that is the confusion that every Taycan inquiry kind of has about it. But yeah, I wanted to put the body kit on because I just thought it looked nicer, spec the wheels, and then put the performance battery in, so my range would increase.
Porsche claim that with this battery, range of up to 300 miles. Myth bust.
Yeah, I'm getting 190.
Right.
And on a cold day, 170 this morning.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a
misconception. I think it's one of those things, you know, when you see EG figures from Volkswagen.
Yep.
Emissions. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Because they do claim with the performance battery, if you install that, you will get up to 300 miles.
That might be going downhill.
Eggs are healthy for breakfast. You should
They
have
are.
3 or 4 a day,
Just not
mate.
wrapped in foil.
Smeared in chocolate. No.
What are you doing, Kristen? You're supposed to be filming.
Breakfast.
Oh, okay. All right then.
Yeah, so really I wanted to be Derby's answer to Batman. So I had the matte black i8 and the doors. My son loved the doors and he told me it was the coolest car to get. But actually it was a wonderful car to own, and it just did what it said it was supposed to do, and I had no niggles whatsoever, and that's probably testimony to BMW and their build. But I wanted to move to something fully electric. That was a hybrid, and that was guidance from my accountant. And when your accountant says, why don't you go out and get a Porsche or a Tesla, you kind of go, well, I'm never going to probably hear that again, so I'm going to go out and do it. So like an excited kid, I just, you know what I mean? I just signed up paperwork and kind of got on with it.
So one of the biggest things with electric cars is the whole charging scenario. Now again, on the website, Porsche claim that you can get between up to 5 to 80% within 93 minutes. Is that true?
I don't know what charger they're using stuck on anybody's home in an urban area, because, you know, it don't happen. There's, for example, near me, there's a BP garage. You've got 2 superchargers in.
Still.
But you ask the staff and they go, we're not connected to the national grid yet. And I think you have to have a power station in the back garden to be able to get that.
Or a wind turbine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes,
and you're still going to leave it there all night. My wife has a diesel, which, yes, we hate diesels and we're moving them out. But I would take that on a long drive because I just get paranoid that there's going to be a queue of cars and it's a slow charger at the services. Again, my FD who has the Tesla, he goes a Tesla charger, and we're going to have a coffee, 20 minutes. And
I was going to ask you that because when you drive down the M1 and a lot of service stations have these Tesla's charging stations
and they're brilliant.
now, and they're like, I know they're rapid, but with this it just doesn't.
I think there's 3 in the country.
Okay.
And, you know, there's the other chargers, but you still got to subscribe and it's very slow. So I had a charger put in at home, and I'm getting, I think it's about 25 miles per hour it'll put in.
Been in a few Porsches, driven a few Porsches, never been in a Taycan, never driven an electric car actually. Driven one around a car park when we do shoots for various dealerships, but never actually drove on the road. So first impressions for me, first honest impressions, I've never sat in one of these and never experienced one, so let's have a look. Oh wow. First impressions, what I love about actually the interior is that everything is kind of surrounded with you. It's almost got like a curved dash in front of you. Feels very futuristic. I see a lot of manufacturers now, including some of the new Ferraris, are having the dash on this side for the passenger to see what's going on as well, like a dual display. I much prefer this. Usually, I mean, the Macans, you literally have buttons just all over the dash in here, and it's a nightmare. Where in here, it's all digital. Similar to what Land Rover do. So Land Rover have gone down this route in terms of digital in the middle, and everything's touch display. But first impressions, feels really nice, really nice.
One of the biggest questions that people are going to want to know is there or was there a waiting list to get this car?
Yeah, there was, and I was very lucky because I couldn't go and see one. There wasn't any anywhere, so we had to find videos to see what the car was about. So it was a bit of a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And it was 6 months ahead before the even predicted and praying for date, and that was still 4 months early.
So when you placed the order, was there a tentative release date of the car?
Yeah, well, I was informed it was going to be February 2020.
And
then I ended up getting it on August the 11th, 2020, so
wow.
It's a little bit later. It takes as long to start up as a fucking iPhone. Yeah, seriously. Look, this is still loading.
So you're still loading the car dash?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And any issues you've come across with the vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a car. I'm into my cycling.
Yeah, big
and
time.
with the i8, I was having to look at strange roof racks. I wanted something where I could put the bike in. And the back seats do fold down, which is pretty cool, and I was happy with that.
And the boot's pretty spacious too.
It's pretty good. You've got to get all your cable gubbins out of the way, because they give you that many cables to travel around with to find those chargers that don't work properly.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, from that side, it's been really, really practical. But I had it, and after 10 days, on your computer where you get the spinny wheel?
Yeah.
I got the spinny wheel on every single screen, and I did the extra one to have the screen over the passenger.
Yeah.
And I got the spinny wheel, and so I couldn't set my sat nav up. I couldn't do anything.
Because it just constantly keeps loading.
It was kind of loading itself.
Does it do it on all? Because you've got 3 on the dash, and then you've got the main console. Does it do it on all of them, or just?
It did it on all my sub screens on the dash, and then the main screens.
Wow.
And it's bad enough anyway. It's like opening up an iPhone. It takes that long for the screens to come on. But this issue, I went back to Porsche. They had the car for 7 weeks. There was a rattle in the door pillars. I've got my spinny wheels. And
can I say, and this is not good for a car with a starting price of about £70,000 upwards. I mean, they're not cheap.
No, and that's upwards. You put a steering wheel on, that's 10 grand.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
It's just a specky thing. So I wasn't happy with that, and they gave me a lease car in the meantime. But the lease car didn't match what I had. But the dealership in Wolverhampton, Jody, dealer principal there, they were outstanding.
Yeah.
And they've got some brilliant staff. They just had to deal with mothership Porsche that were a bit of a pain in the arse. I like buttons. And I like a button that you press that does something. But it has to be simple tech, right? And there's nothing better than going through a bus lane, waiting for your ticket, pressing, your spoiler pops up. And I know we're all kids, aren't we, with bits with bolts, like playing with Lego.
I love my tech, yeah.
But I have to go into the menu, into motor settings, and the only way I'm putting the spoiler up is because I want to clean it. So there's a spoiler cleaning button. But there's no button.
There's no shortcut. You have to go into menu after menu after menu.
And I've got two Quality Street Diamond shortcuts here and here. But I like to have noise, especially where you're near people. I don't want to be running cats over because the car's so quiet.
Yeah.
But I have to set up one of my diamonds to be noise. And it's not linked to the key. Now, why isn't that linked to my settings? It knows where my seat is.
Exactly.
So just say, we love cats.
One of your biggest gripes with it is actually the user interface, the software and the way the car works and the way it reacts to what you want to do and what you want to do with it.
Germans build things beautifully well.
Yeah, they
but
do.
I'm not sure I'd ask them to build my speak and spell. Because getting through the systems and the layers, it's just not intuitive.
The thing is, what I find interesting about these cars is they've got so much power, but you don't necessarily have the noise to go with it.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir. So we are going to do a launch control test in the car park here in Hina, because I've heard it's quite rapid on a launch control, and yeah, see how that goes. Let's put the seatbelt on. Dino looks quite frightened over there. foot all the way on the brake.
And foot all the way through the accelerator.
Yeah, and then just let your brake off.
And then hold it, then it holds, then you just let your brake off.
Oh, okay. I'm actually shitting myself doing this. I'm usually alright with cars, but it's just because it's unknown territory. It's electric. You ready?
Just grab your sort of better.
You hear that? Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, that goes. Can I do one more? So I'm a bit. I know where the power is now. Can we do one more?
Yeah, go.
That is quick. Fucking hell. That's the most strangest thing I've ever felt in a car. So just before we launch, you put your accelerator down. It's like a helicopter's over you. It's really weird. But here we go. We're going to go for round 2. Jeez. Wow. That is rapid. That is really odd. That's the most strangest thing I've ever felt in a car. It's weird. You go like a bull at a gate, but you haven't got the drama with it of a noise. It's weird.
Kind of missed the drama.
Yeah, it's cool.
In terms of how the car drives, handles, how do you feel with it? How do you feel with it?
Very lucky to say this is my first Porsche and it was quite exciting. I love the drive. You've got the settings, so you can put it in bumpy sport mode or you can have it in nice smooth cruising mode. And I absolutely love it. The driving position took some getting used to because you are sat sunken looking at the bulbous wings. So a bit of tinkering with that.
Just to get your eye line right and you judge your width.
It is really, and then the whole fit. But there's so much adjustment, you can get it right, and I do enjoy the position. And then you have an assistant called Hey Porsche. Oh, she's worked this time.
She's Ego.
I've been calling her Holly Bolly, all kinds of stuff, because she doesn't come up when you
Hey
want
Siri,
it to.
any of those?
Jump in.
Yeah.
And then you put it into drive.
Yeah.
Put it on the brake.
Yeah.
Put it all the way through.
And then just release.
Yeah.
Ready? I'm gonna myself. Whoa. God.
I think he shit himself.
It tells you here launch control activator, which is great.
How was that?
Okay, so in a petrol car, done that before. In this, that is weird. That is literally surreal. I'm like, what? If I give you my car keys to my Kia, I'm borrowing this for the day.
So the big question, would I keep the Taycan if I had the option of an i8, if I could do it all again? And I think the i8 was a brilliant car. My grandkids thought I was Batman. Now, what value do you put on that? I was hoping BMW were going to bring out a new version. And if they'd have brought out a pure electric, I think I'd have stayed the i8. There's just something about that car that's futuristic and did exactly what it was supposed to do. The Taycan's an amazing car. I've got comfort, I've got space, it's nice and practical. What scares me is if I need to go on a long journey, am I going to have the infrastructure to be able to charge it up? But apart from that, I'd highly recommend it, and I'm really excited to see where Porsche take the electric journey because they transformed electric cars from what was dominated by Tesla.
So we've heard it straight from Dino at Hoob. about his opinions and his views on the Porsche Taycan. So comment below guys, i8 or Porsche?